Hi and welcome back. Today we're talking about a 24-year-old defender, Irish defender from Boyle in Roscommon called James Bolger. Currently with Drogheda United, you'd imagine his club career to this point in time started here and perhaps went the usual route. Maybe he worked his way through an academy in Ireland, or he went to the UK to an academy and came back to Ireland at some stage and moved up the ranks thereafter to become a League of Ireland's Irish Premier Division pro. However, this is not the route he took, and hence why we're talking about him today. Born the 19th of November 2000, he started off playing locally with Boyle Celtic, again in Roscommon. He also played GAA, and a lot of his family were from a GAA background. Again, like most youngsters, he played GAA and football in tandem. Before, in January 2019, moving to the youth setup of League of Ireland side Galway United as a still only 18-year-old and playing in their under-19s. Again, a normal route for an Irish player and a convenient one for James himself, as it would have given him a direct route to first team football with an established League of Ireland club. Also, only 90 minutes from his hometown, so commutable if he wanted to do that. And having finished school, Galway being a university town to those outside of Ireland, it gave him the option of a third level university path while still continuing playing football at a very high level. So a perfect scenario for him if that was what he did. However, this is where his story took a deviation from the normal route and showed he wasn't afraid to make brave, tough decisions to achieve his goals on and off the field. So later in the same year, i.e. the summer of 2019, only 6 months in the Galway United Academy, he moved to the US. Now, he probably had that plan in his mind for a while, but still a brave move. Again, moving to US college football, which again, you can complete and achieve a degree, a college degree, in his case, business, while still playing at a high level. And at the end of it, you have the option to go into the MLS draft route, or again, you can move back home or elsewhere. Of course, you have lots of options. So his college route, he chose initially to go to Northwestern College in Iowa, Ohio, and he was there for the bulk of his time in the US from 2019 to 2023, turning out 68 times, 18 goals, which is impressive for a defender. And then in 2024, going to Longwood University in Virginia to finish out his studies. Again, from there, the normal routes, as I said, would have been the MLS draft or back home. But again, he showed thinking outside the box, bravery, and nothing was going to stand in his way of becoming a pro footballer. Therefore, that same year, i.e. 2024, just last March, he moved to Sweden and the fourth tier with Bodens BK, where he hit the ground running, turning out 13 times, scoring 4 goals. Again, impressive stuff for the defender. With that, it has to be said, it also showed he was well above that level while impressing in his short stay there. His admirers were now taking note, and he came back to Ireland and did a 1-week trial with Drogheda United and then signed with them on the 17th of July 2024. So last year again, just a year ago nearly. Drogheda, of course, at that stage were down the wrong end of the table. They were in the top tier, but down the wrong end of the table. But again, he hit the ground running and took the big step up, you'd have to say, from the Swedish 4th Division to the top tier in Ireland with ease and in his stride. And he didn't just play and turn out for Drogheda, he started every game, played the full 90 minutes in all of their fixtures for the remainder of the 2024 season. Drogheda went on to have a great last week, of course, of the 24 season. To those outside of Ireland, season in Ireland runs calendar year. And yeah, they had a great finish to the season, winning a relegation promotion playoff against Bray, who finished second in the second tier of Irish football, so they went into the playoff with Drogheda. And that's a game, again, he played the full 90 minutes and he actually scored in that game. A week later, they played Derry City in the FAI Cup, and again, playing the full 90 minutes, being an integral part of Drogheda's side. He and Drogheda have continued this form into this season, where they're currently second at the time of recording in the Irish Premier Division, again the top tier in Ireland in the 25 season. Since his arrival last July, he has appeared for Drogheda 34 times with 2 goals in all competitions, with almost all of his appearances starts, full 90-minute game time. With the Irish season more or less midway through now, obviously his short-term future is staying with Drogheda and completing his first full season with them as a pro. Obviously last season was his first full season as a pro proper in Sweden's fourth tier and the Irish top tier split. He's still only 24 and playing in the top tier of Irish football. You got to say he's hit the ground running and had a great start to his pro career last season and this year. And also European football, there's a slight question mark over that with Drogheda, but because there's dual ownership with Silberg IF, I don't know what the outcome, I don't know if there's an outcome yet for that, but it'll be known soon enough. But yeah, hopefully Drogheda do get their just rewards for the FAI Cup and they do turn out in Europe. So it's a great place to be for the player, and it means his career is well on course and going exactly as he wants. However, what might the future hold come the end of the season in Ireland? Of course, it's common enough to have a season in contract, so unless there's something signed behind the scenes that I'm not aware of, his contract runs out in November, the end of November, I believe. Most obvious option is to continue with Drogheda, who are on a high on all fronts at present. Other League of Ireland and Northern Ireland top tier sides, of course, will be in the picture. Finish the season now as he has today will bring options in the UK, i.e. England and Scotland as well, you'd imagine, to boot. To note, Walsall in the English fourth tier are also part of the same ownership group as Drogheda. Going back to his previous haunts of Sweden, of course, and it's not somewhere he's gone, you know, that he hasn't ever experienced before. He's been in Sweden, so he knows what life is like in Sweden. Also, there'll be other people in Sweden that will be aware of him from his short stay there last year, which was, of course, again, a big success for him, and he impressed. As I said, Drogheda, the people that own Drogheda also own Silberg IF, so that's a possible option to the Danish top tier. He impresses in Drogheda, that would be an obvious option for him. Also, back in the US too, he'll have had contacts there, and he impressed at college football. Didn't go the MLS route, but he will have options there too, you'd imagine. People will have taken note of him, and again, taken note of him when he went to Sweden, taken note of him now doing so well with Drogheda in the Irish top tier. So you'd imagine he will have options there. Again, he spent 5 years, formative years of his adult life in the US, so it's going to be again another place that he'll know and have his admirers. Again, if he was to go back to the US, you'd imagine a good financial package and a multi-year deal would have to be on the table for it to entice him. But who knows? Again, he did spend a lot of time there already. Of course, he has also already shown multiple times to date that he doesn't mind thinking outside the box, moving out of his comfort zone and making a brave decision that works best for him. So really, who knows where he'll go, and he will have options at other places, and I'm sure he'll take them on board and assess them. Where the ceiling is, who knows, but to date he's taken every move and step up in his stride and hit the ground running, and clearly this will continue to be the case. If you liked the video, send us a like, subscribe, or leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Or buy us a coffee at the link in the description. And as always, we'll be watching.